Good news, everyone. This episode of Flipper Flicks is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. We recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. I hope you enjoy this episode.
Cue the singing giraffes! Beware of the flipper flips we flip and flip and flip and flip across the TV.
Oh boy. One of these days
we always say we're not going to sing, but we always
you
sing.
might not get to hear our beautiful voices sing. One
Well,
day.
when there are such good songs, it's hard not to sing. I'm just saying.
I think we didn't sing an Extraction.
Yeah, there wasn't any good songs.
Yeah, that wasn't really, yeah.
Extraction's not a really singing movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of a
Anyways.
thing. Am I up?
Yes, Tim.
I thought it just like cut out. I thought it just I was like, there's no sound. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, you missed my gesture toward you.
You didn't see that?
You didn't see
Yeah.
it? We're not on video. That would help, I suppose.
Oh, shoot. All right, well, if you didn't catch the name by Sam's beautiful intro, we are Flipper Flicks. You can find us on various social media platforms, Twitter,
The
Instagram, the Tweeter, Instagram, Spotify, of course, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts, among others. We drop at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays, so you can check out our episodes there, or just follow us on social media, and we'll give you the schedule and whatnot, give you hints at what's coming up, and on to Adam, I believe.
Yup, I'm Adam, if you didn't know. My voice might have changed from a mic change. I don't know. Shit gets weird and wild over here. But we watched the classic movie on HBO Max. And when I say classic, it is not only just a classic, it is a Turner classic movie.
Yeah.
TCM.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we watched
what that was.
The Blob. Oh, The Blob. It's an alien life form. It consumes everything in its path as it grows and grows. Now, see, unlike Tim, I get these nice short and sweet single sentence synopsises. Tim always ends up with like 3-page essay about what this movie's about, and then mine is just like, shit, this thing's gonna come from space and it's gonna keep growing.
And creep. And slide.
I'm gonna tell you now that
All
Sam,
over
before I even get to the ratings, Sam is obsessed with the intro song.
If you do nothing
yeah.
else, go listen to the song. You have to listen to the song.
It is called The Blob by The Five Blobs.
It's so good.
And when I say The Five Blobs, it is the same dude recorded 5 different times.
That's
great.
amazing. That makes it even better.
I know.
But go ahead with your ratings.
Okay, so this movie was rated by critics at a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 52%. IMDb has it at 6.4 out of 10. And in a shocking news, Google did not give this one a 90%.
What?
It's only an
Out
83.
there.
Only an 83%. This has got to be one for the books, boys and girls out there. You jot that down. Like, only The Blob.
Didn't get the love it deserves.
It did not get the love it deserved. Now, I'm the one who selected it. It is listed as a sci-fi horror, which is out of my realm typically, but I will say, if I'm watching a horror film, I'm going to pick one that is
Right.
very old.
Yeah.
This one's from
That's pretty cool.
1958.
So what were your expectations going into it? Why'd you
I've
pick
heard
it,
of
I
it.
guess? Okay.
I've heard of The Blob, and
You heard of it. All right. Fair
yeah.
enough.
Well, I mean, you hear about like what is it from like Onward? The
Gelatinous cube.
the gelatinous
Gelatinous,
cube is a
yeah.
blob,
Mm.
like from
Correct,
D&D.
Yep. They
Um,
just consume everything. Yeah.
Hotel Transylvania has a blob in him. The blob is not an uncommon thing, and I was like, I want to see where, in theory, it's rooted from.
Yeah.
And we've got classics, and HBO Max just came out right before we recorded this episode, and I was like, let's use that.
Right.
So that's why, and I initially expected it to be amazingly old. Tim, what were you expecting?
I was pumped.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I also thought it was going to be black and white for some reason, but it's not
That's
that
because
old.
well, it is that old. Like the picture for it is in black and white.
It is
on
black
HBO.
and white, yeah.
So maybe it was.
I don't know. Like, I saw it. I didn't read the synopsis, which, probably would have taken all of 10 seconds. But I literally just opened it, clicked play, and went. And immediately, I was stoked. Because I was like, I was happy to watch it. And then the music kicked in. I'm like, all right, I'm sold. But, yeah. I'll
Seriously,
keep that
check
there
out this
until we
music.
start talking about it. Yeah.
Check it out.
Sam. Fire away.
I would say it's the same. I was very, very excited because with a name like the Blob, how could it not be amazing? And then, yeah, that opening credits scene with that music, I was like, I don't need to see the rest of the movie. I'm good with
She
this.
was done.
I'm good
She was
here.
like,
Yep.
just keep playing that like trippy ass like
Yeah,
hypnosis
like the
looking
little-
thing.
Yeah, that looked like a Windows screensaver almost.
What was,
was
it
great.
sounds like the intro song sounds like something else.
Yeah, it does, but I don't know.
I can't put my finger on it, but
So let us know if you listen to it and you're like, this is totally a ripoff of something else.
yeah. Also, with the intro, Tim, did you notice that it said introducing the teenagers?
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Very odd.
Like, was that when STEVEN McQueen was listed?
I thought STEVEN McQueen.
I thought he was the first one
I
listed.
thought he was on the first
He was
list
the
with
very,
the adults.
yeah, he was the star.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also
was
helps that
listed very first.
he is nowhere near being a teenager. If
That
he didn't,
was
if-
the cracked me
he was
up.
28. He was 28 to play
They
a
were
teenager.
all in their like high 20s. And I'm like,
I know.
wait, they're supposed to be kids? Hold on.
I was so confused. Like,
It
I'm
was
gonna
great,
hop to
though.
the end. Steve playing
Wait,
Steve.
spoilers.
Oh,
Go ahead.
spoilers!
Oh,
Yeah, we do those things. We just kind of dive right in here at Flipper Flicks.
So just be excited for that once you start listening. But anywho, at the end.
At the very end, Danny is being held by Steve, being hugged by Jane.
Yes.
Right when they're in the cellar, and I'm like,
right.
for heaven's sake, you two look like you could be his goddamn parent.
Right.
Like, she looked no older than the wife in what's our Christmas movie? Come on, black and white.
The Christmas Story?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
It looks like she looks no older than like her.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, he was 28.
Yeah,
So
he
having
was-
a 9-year-old kid, doing the math, that's not abnormal. Like having a kid at 19.
Right. I mean, that would be, yeah. I mean,
in the 1950s,
very
that's
plausible. Yeah.
Not unreal.
And I think you kind of notice how old they are because, like, if you flip to, like, the police officers who are supposed to be adults, like, they look around the same age.
I know.
Yeah, everybody was like the same. I mean, they might have been like a little older because they were kind of gray and stuff, but it was
Yeah.
like they're not much older.
Like you could tell Lieutenant Dan. That was his name.
Yeah.
Dave. Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I was
Wrong
like, I'm
movie.
pretty sure that's not right, but okay.
I was off by a couple. Lieutenant Dave. He looks like on the younger side, but and then one guy's like, I was in the war. Sergeant.
Right? Yeah. The
Something or
sergeant,
other.
Yeah.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. He's skeptical.
I know.
And tired of
He
being
was-
messed with, but
He
yeah.
was like, they're just pranking me because I was in the war.
See that kind of stuff. That was just stupid. But
I
you
know.
it's his character or whatever. But
I know.
it's funny.
And then the other officer was playing his chest the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, my. I did have a question for you guys since you kind of already brought up
We're just diving in, yeah.
that this scene or the intro page has it in black and white. So, like, if it was ever in black and white, do you think that it might have been, like, a little bit more creepy? Like, I kind of thought it was bizarre that it was, like, red. Like, it looked like Jell-O. But I think in black and white, like, it might look a little bit creepier. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't know. It was cool how they did it and stuff, and I was actually surprised at a lot of how they like made it move and some of the animations, quote unquote, for it. But I can see what you're saying. Black and white would have made it more, I don't know, odd or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They increasingly made it redder throughout the
Yeah.
thing to like emphasize how many things it's murdered, how many people.
Yeah,
it's
because it
killed.
like turned. It was clear at first, and then it turned red on his
Yeah.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
His hand.
they dipped it in oil at first. or something.
When it was first in the rock, you mean?
Well, it reminded me when he pulled it out and it's on the stick that like the stuff you can get and like play with. I don't know, just like
slime?
that. It's like a kind of slime thing, but it's not quite the. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you can get a lot of.
Me of.
We saw a lot of slime at the store today. It was a little odd and kind of foreshadowing in our own lives.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Nickelodeon makes their own slime, apparently.
Yeah.
And there was literally a whole shelf that was like Nickelodeon slime. We were like, the fuck?
Yeah.
So it was meant to
again, kind of weirdly foreshadowing ourselves here.
Yeah.
Who does this? So one of my first notes, I want to note that one of my notes is noted.
Okay.
That I noted that this movie already had more romance than Swept Away. Within that like they're up on makeout point.
Yeah.
Just macking. I was like, damn, already passed Swept Away.
Yeah.
Took y'all half a minute.
Yeah. Well, and what a wild date night.
First date, right? That had to have been.
Holy crap.
They acted like they'd been together for years, and then Danny, their son or brother.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it was their first date. They made it seem like, do you take all the girls up here? What? Yeah. No.
I also take all the blobs.
I take all the blobs. I've seen so many blobs.
I take all the ladies around telling them about the blob that's eating town. That's just like how I ensure that they'll stay with me forever, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
and like, is it, do you guys find it to be like a cliche to start a old school horror film up at makeout point? I feel like that happens like at least
it's like,
cartoons.
It was like the staple, right? Like
the
couple up there. If it doesn't, if it's like, okay, they're either the hero or the very first people to die. But you start out at makeup point, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, because shoot, what was Night of the Living Dead? Don't they start?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
They do.
A lot of movies, yeah. They start up there.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I think is.
yeah. I was trying to think of it. That was exactly the one. Yep.
Well, I don't know why we were both thinking of that one, because that's like a satirical horror film.
Because that movie is bomb. But anyhow.
Yeah.
The Blob would kick the shit out of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
They would just consume them.
That is a conversation for a different episode. We'll have to pit them against each other. But yes. I mean, I did get definitely like classic horror film vibes from that.
Right
or
off
just
the bat.
like classic movie vibes. Like when they were driving the car and it was kind of just like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like teetering. Like, it didn't look like they were actually driving a car.
Oh,
like,
no.
They were just,
And the car
like,
was never actually on.
It was just like...
Did you notice that, like, the miles per hour stayed at, like, 50? Mm-hmm. And it didn't, like, accelerate. And then, like, it didn't, like, change at all. Like, he had cruise control, basically.
Yeah.
Tim was there.
But then it, like, went up 50s. A little bit, but...
That was only when he was accelerating to pass the other vehicle.
Right, yeah. And, of course, it didn't show him actually passing him. It was just kind of...
I know. And then they were like, who does he think he is?
Right.
Oh, that's Steve Andrews.
I love that it's Steve McQueen and his name is Steve.
Well, I mean, it's easier to remember names that way, man.
Yeah.
It's just easier. I don't know why they don't do that in all movies.
Yeah, true.
Or shows, or, anything.
Or shows, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
In that scene,
which scene?
Where they're passing the car, I just want to harken back to the car again. When he honks the horn, I'm pretty sure they show him honking the horn, but like where he's pressing is not where the horn would be.
Yeah, he's like, it's like not actually there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was funny. There was a lot of interesting bits like that are just like classic movies, I feel like.
Yeah, and they're like, who does he think he is? Like, I'm just so confused because they're acting like he didn't honk the horn.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. He honked a few times, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like, move, come on. Yeah. And those rowdy kids probably would have been speeding, let's be real.
Yeah. Well, that whole exchange was very confusing because they act like they don't know who he is unless they're just thinking like they don't know his car, right? Like maybe that's what it is. But they pretty much act like they hate his guts because then they do like the race off. And then like 5 seconds later, like, oh, you want to go to the movies with us?
Yeah.
BFLs.
Like it's so confusing. And assuming they all go to the same high school, like this was clearly a small town. Like, it wouldn't be a big high school, so it's just kind of odd. Like, it seemed like they were trying to make them, like, enemies, but then they weren't. It was bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of gave off, like, a bully vibe.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Tony?
completely flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony was like, I'm gonna beat you up, but as best
Psych!
friends.
Yeah, just kidding.
It was like, did they take a hubcap off or something and put it on his head?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Okay, now, Tim, you're our knower of all things explosions, cars, and fighting.
Sure.
So we're gonna add
Sure.
safety onto that title. Do you think that Steve's attempt to say that driving backwards would be safer? Like, what did you think of that? We're just trying to explain it to Lieutenant Dave.
I think he was just BSing so he
I
could get out of
know.
it, obviously. But
I know. It was hilarious.
it was funny, yeah. It was good. I mean, it was just like to me, it was them trying to be kids, right? But like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's a little awkward because it like kind of funny because you're just like watching this 28-year-old man try to be like a teenager, and that's like what a teenager would kind of do, maybe, or I don't know. It was funny. I don't.
It was a silly little shtick,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. I just thought it was funny because I was like, would it actually be safer?
No.
No.
Clearly not.
Well, yeah, because he, like, really goes through that whole thought process, right?
I
Well,
know.
Planes in Australia have backwards seats or whatever. Like, I don't know. That was very interesting way to go with
I thought it was like he went into it and he rolled with his own.
Yeah, but then he, like, starts cracking himself up, and he's like, this didn't work, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I
like,
thought that
it
was
doesn't work. I get it. Yeah.
funny. I'll just stop now, thanks.
Yeah.
Also, you're on the
Yeah.
wrong side of the road. I am. Yes, I am. Mhm.
This is my life now.
Lieutenant Dave was a solid guy.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I was talking about the intro before with the music and stuff, because I was expecting like a super serious like horror movie, which I'm not sure if that was like how it was marketed before, when it like first came out and whatnot, because it definitely like that song right off the bat gave me like it's a spoofy kind of horror
I
movie,
think
like
it
it's
was-
making fun of horror movies kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first initial thought with it.
I think
When I
it
heard
was
the music.
supposed to be
That amazing
like a real
song.
horror movie.
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah.
Maybe the thought process is like when we were doing The Ring, Gore Verbinski, the director of The Ring, was like, I hate doing horror films because you got to get it psychologically. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Try to figure out that. So maybe the director or Irvin S. Yearworth Jr. definitely didn't. No, I just knew that. Definitely not written down.
Right.
He was
yeah.
maybe he was thinking, you know what, we're gonna catch him off guard. We're gonna put this fun little song. Then we're gonna scare the shit out of him. It sounds like we're supposed to go on like
it's
a
so
Hawaiian.
stuck in my head right now. It's amazing.
I feel like we're supposed to be going on a vacation.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It does kind of give off those vibes.
Like, it gives me a beach vibe. Like I would listen to that song on the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. I didn't think about it that way, but that's a very good way to put it, yeah.
Well, I wonder if I haven't seen a lot of old horror films. Like I'm thinking of what was the black and white zombie one that's big, Dawn of the Dead?
Night of the Living
Night
Dead.
of
Night of the Living Dead,
I get
yeah.
all-
Dawn of the Dead is like
The-
same dude,
Yeah.
just
It's confusing.
later,
There's
like
a lot
6
of-
years later.
There's a lot of dead
Yeah.
movies. Anywho.
Yeah.
George
I
R.
don't
Romero.
I think so. I know throughout the film it has like eerie music, but did it intro with like a fun song? I'm just curious if like maybe
I don't think so.
Yeah, like
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
that's a thing or perhaps not. I don't know. I could see
Yeah,
it being
I
a
don't
thing,
think so.
but then I don't think so because the rest of the Blob, the music wasn't fun. It still was pretty eerie. Like
It was eerie. It was proper.
I was thinking to myself that, like, I actually think it's kind of a spooky movie. Like, when it doesn't show it, and it's just kind of like...
Moving towards somebody.
No. When they don't show it, and, like, people are just, like, kind of, like, freaking out, or whatever, and it has the crazy, like, scary movie...
Scary movie
Scary
music.
movie music on. Like, it's kind of spooky. Like, it's not... I mean, there's definitely scarier things, especially nowadays, but... I don't know. It almost would have done really well for them not to show it till like the end and just
Like
kind
the
of
Blob?
rely on this unseen thing.
Oh, you mean like
Right,
Jaws?
Yeah.
That's That's what some people critiqued the Quiet Place. People didn't like that they showed him right away. Like the
Which
unknown.
Is fair.
Yeah.
The unknown is fun.
Yeah.
In a sense, with horror films.
But at the same time, like when they, I don't know. Every time the Blob was on screen, I did scream. Like I was.
She gasped. She had an audible gasp. She was like when the mechanic scene. Sam like was honestly like I don't know. I don't think I want to say scared, but she was like, "Oh my word!"
Like I don't know why, but
Yeah.
something about this movie had me like totally enthralled. And like when it came on, I was like, "Oh shit, somebody's about to die!" And so I was like, "Oh no!" Like I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe the rest of the music was creepy enough that it really had me like absorbed.
Maybe
if
if you
like
watched the Spanish dub of it, where they got rid of that song, the intro song, and put a more conventional in-tone song at the very beginning.
No, absolutely not. I would not stand for that.
I will not stand for that.
You can't watch The Blob without that song. But
Cannot watch The Blob without the 5 blobs.
yeah, I do think that it probably would have set it up like to be creepier. And back like to my black and white point, like I wonder if maybe that would have made it creepier. But I don't know.
I still don't know.
It looked pretty good for what it was.
I
was kind of shocked.
I remember seeing the creature from the Black Lagoon
Okay.
when I was a kid, and that wasn't that scary, and that was in black and white.
Okay, so I don't know. I still think The Blob looked pretty good. Until the end when it was like wrapping around the diner, then it looked kind of cheesy.
Well, they were doing the old school like art where they would draw it.
And then it like
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I still liked it though.
Yes, I still loved it. Like in the pop culture show, they showed how they did it with Tron. I'm sure they were doing that sort of stuff.
Oh, so like they how
do
did
the
they
video
do it in
and then
Tron?
they like
re-put the image on top.
yes,
Paint it and
Yeah.
then re-put the image on top, paint it again.
yes,
I could see that because it kind of just like looked
odd.
weird. Yeah.
Also, some of it was smaller sets, so when it was coming out of the movie theater,
Yeah.
you could see it was a painted like cardboard cutout.
Yeah, you could tell it was like a lot.
Oh
miniature
yeah,
set.
I love
Yeah.
that too. Because it,
I know,
worked
no.
really well how they did it. But yeah, it was pretty great. All the stuff they did in it actually impressed me a lot. Like I expected it to like, just be like, oh, it looks silly and blah blah. No, like the cuts, everything they did actually was very impressive for the time. I think.
Definitely, like
Yeah.
I didn't think. Well, knowing now, we're how many years later? Go.
Math, that's your category.
72?
Yeah, what the heck? Why are you asking
Yeah,
us?
like I
62?
expected that faster than that, but you know.
62 years later,
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. 62,
Damn.
72.
Half a century plus later.
Yeah, clearly we can see the difference.
A middle-aged
Mm-hmm.
woman later.
We have like 4K TVs, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, I'm sure that was honestly like remarkable.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I could see it.
I would have loved to see it back then.
Well, and I wonder if it's like visual effects. Like, do you think that it was kind of like good for the time? Like they were like, damn, that turned out really well. Like, do you think it
feel
was
like-
groundbreaking at the time, or do you think it was just like another?
I think it was just another movie.
Okay.
But that being said,
Probably?
it had like, for the time, it had a $110,000 budget.
That's a lot considering the movie cost 80 cents.
Yes,
yeah,
to go
I
see
was
it.
gonna say, that was the point.
All
I was
right.
like, 80 cents for a ticket?
Right?
But,
I know.
I think they went all out on this just based on Steve McQueen being in it.
That's
because
true.
he was hot back then.
Yeah.
So Steve McQueen's contract was $2,500 or 10% of the box office.
Damn.
Yes, he took the $2,500 because he was like, I don't think this movie's going to make much money.
Yeah.
Box office was $4 million.
I was going to say, I bet he regrets
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
He likely regretted it.
For sure. But maybe not. I mean, he, like Tim said, he was hot at the time, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
might have just picked
Yeah.
up another thing.
It was the last time he was ever listed as Steven McQueen.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, Steven McQueen? You mean Steve?
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve?
Now, do you think if this movie took place in today's time, would Steve and Jane have helped the old man, and would they have brought him to the doctor? Like the good Samaritans that they were.
Yeah, I think so.
I would like to think so.
well, yeah, because he ran across the street, right? So, like, either way, he
Yeah.
was kind of, like, meant to they were meant to, like, engage with him. If he
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
just been, like, I don't know, if they had found him some other way, they could have ignored him. But a man screaming across the street
That's
is kind of
true.
hard to ignore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious because I was like, they're good people. And then I definitely thought that doctor was going to be like, that sucks. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
had
he's
just,
just
like...
I gotta leave. But no, he stayed, yeah.
I got so pessimistic in my 29 years of age.
Well, okay, so he had just turned off his sign, right?
Yep.
So he's closing down, and he called and said he was going to whatever conference. And then, like, just the hesitation.
He thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't want to stay for this. I thought that was great.
The doctor, though, he brought out a book to figure out, like, what it was.
Yeah.
And his initial thought was, I'm probably going to need to amputate that shit. I'm like, you're pretty smart, doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know that it was his initial thought, because it was all the way up to his shoulder by the time he came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
But I don't know how fast the Blob was eating that dude. Relatively fast, it seems like.
Well,
So.
he didn't
Yeah.
see, when he was saying I might have to amputate it, it was still just, like, up to his elbow.
Oh, okay.
We saw it up to his shoulder.
Oh, but...
He was in the other room.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so it was pretty close conclusion. Good guy. Good job, guy. I can't talk
Good
tonight.
job, guy doctor.
Good job, Blob.
Dr. Hallen.
Yes, Dr. Howard.
Dr. T. Hallen. Now, did that lady live above him? And was that not his wife?
I don't know.
The
I was
old lady?
wondering, like,
Yeah.
where did she just come from, and why did he have to call her? Was she in the building already? I was so confused. But
I was very confused because she was like, they're always listening to old Western films. And I'm like,
Wait, I think you're talking about two different people. So you're talking about Mrs. Porter, the old lady, right?
yeah.
And Tim, you're talking about Kate, the nurse. Is that right? Or were you talking
no,
about...
I'm talking about the old lady.
Oh, okay.
We're both talking about Mrs. Porter.
Yes,
So
she
she's
just appeared
not.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, what?
Yeah, they're always listening to old movies with guns in. And I'm like, you could tell if
You
it
would
was
know
a
the
gunfire.
difference.
Like, that was not like a little baby pistol. That was a shotgun, right?
Shotgun, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she was just great because she thought she could dust around the fingerprints.
Yes. I'll just dust around them. Yes, dust around the blob prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly thought that she was going to be, like, more of a character because they kind of set her up to be, like, doing something sketchy.
Yeah, that's true.
She was, like, over the top with, like, wanting to clean and be sure that he was gone. Like, I just thought she was kind of, like, really going for it. And so I was like, I wouldn't be shocked. And the fact that she appeared out of nowhere, like, I wouldn't have been shocked if we saw her, like, later, if this movie was made today, you know, in a different scene doing something sketchy.
Yeah.
But I liked her. I thought she was fun.
Yeah, she was fun.
Speaking of other old people, towards the end when they, like, have all those sirens and, like, horns and stuff.
The air
and
raid?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the old guy who has the uniform for the air raid.
Oh, I
and
loved
like,
it,
He's like, I gotta put on my civil defense uniform. And then they, like, do the fire siren. And then he's like, wait, a fire? This has never happened before. What am I gonna wear? And he had, like, both of the hats. Oh my god, that was gold.
He had to switch it out. That was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
So the old people really, they made this film amazing.
Now,
Yeah.
how on earth... Well, I mean, it was during the 1950s. The movie took place July 1957, just to give you a setting.
Okay.
I'm just confused. Well, I'm not confused at why they have an air raid horn, because that was during the Cold War. That makes sense. You're going to have air raid horn, like, sirens, just in case.
Right.
Just due to the era. But how did they have access to it? Because they just looked like they were honking horns.
They
Yeah,
did,
that was
and all of
very
a sudden
confusing.
all this stuff was going off. It's like, wait, what?
I thought the honking of the horns was clever,
Yes.
Yeah.
but I could never tell what time of night it was.
Yeah.
No, it seemed like it was all supposed to be one night, right?
It was all one night, but I could not tell. Like, they're like, oh, it's super late. They're like putting the teenage kids to bed while there are people still out in the movies, which I know isn't unheard of, but
Right.
it was July, so it got late at, 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
Well, the movie was supposed to be at midnight, right? It was the midnight spooky show.
Oh!
So the movie started at midnight,
I didn't know that part.
but, like,
So
I did still kind of feel like the timing was a little weird because they make you think it's kind of early in the night in the first couple scenes, and then they're talking about a midnight movie, and then I don't know. It's just kind of bizarre. And then when the police are like getting rid of the blob, they're like, it's gonna be night soon, like or
morning
soon. We're gonna have to deal with the sun. So like
they said like 3 hours, which would make sense.
Yeah, a lot happened very quickly.
Yes.
The blob ate a lot of people very quickly.
The blob did.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it got better, like faster as the time went on. Yeah.
Yeah. The one loose end, this is going to be my one burger patty, is what happened to the dog?
Oh,
well,
true.
Like, she was damn concerned about that dog. And little William the dog was going to be the house pet of Danny, but then they were like, I got you! And then they got stuck in the meat locker, and then he's gone.
Yeah. So that is actually also my same beef, is that she suggests taking the dog from the old man's place, right? Because he'll starve to death if we don't take him.
He would have.
Right. So she takes him, and then they go back to the doctor's office to tell him what happened, and she opens the car door, and dog, like, jumps out of the car and runs away. She's not concerned at all.
Right.
She's just like, whatever, dude's gone. And then later on, it flips back, and she's like, what about the poor dog? And it's like, girl, pick a side. You either care about the dog or you don't. So Jane gets the only beef. Frickin' Jane.
True.
Sam always hates the female actress. Female lead.
I don't know. I liked Mrs. Porter. But she
female
was
lead.
That's because they set them up so stupidly. But anywho, that's a different conversation. But I do just want to re-emphasize that the movie was 80 cents. And how they're like,
oh my gosh,
you made me walk out on 80 cents. I'm like, dude, like, don't even talk to me. Like, if I walked out of a movie today, it'd be way more than 80 cents.
Did you see the movie poster that was hanging up on the wall? It said vampire. What was it? It was the vampire and the robot.
Nice.
But
yeah.
That was actually a real movie poster.
Really?
But the vampire and the robot was a made-up title. The real movie title was Forbidden Planet.
Oh.
And they just kind of taped over it.
Nice. Well, and I thought the Midnight Spooky Show with the demon or whatever, like,
I know.
That was very odd. I don't know what was happening there.
But what was great was Al really wanted to see that damn movie.
Yeah, he was into it.
He was like, I don't want to leave the movie. Oh, you made me waste my money. But beforehand, he was like, we gotta go to the movie. We're gonna go to the movie. Hey, let's go to the movie.
Yeah, well, and my favorite thing, when he shows up at the theater, one of them's like, I ain't moving, I'm glued to this chair, or something like that. And then, of course,
the tall blonde dude.
Yeah, and then, of course, they, like, get up and go. But
talk
about, again, the old guy stealing the show. There was an old guy at the Midnight Spooky Show.
I know.
Look at him staying out late.
Now, I gotta say, Tony is the only one that ended up doing exactly what they said that they were gonna do. Was pick up some chicks at the spooky show.
Yeah.
he picked up a chick, and then they picked up another couple.
First of all, I found that line he says very funny and like a little odd because he says, oh, there's going to be a lot of unprotected women on the balcony.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, does that mean they're single or is that what
I want to say that was teenager for single in the 50s.
Yeah, I feel like it was, which is just
I really hope. I'm going to go ahead and say I hope it was.
Yeah.
Well, I think it just means, like, they're going to a scary movie. They want to cuddle up and be protected.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That makes more sense.
But, yeah, it was a very odd way to put it, but I loved it.
But, yeah, I think the other guy's name was, like, Mooney or something.
Yeah.
It started
like
with a moo.
Mooch or something.
Moochie or something. Anyway,
it was
Moo
weird.
Moo
Yeah.
is what I'm going to call him.
Moo Moo.
Mm-hmm.
Moo Moo and Al just sitting in the back. They did not pick up any. They did not get to protect any ladies.
There weren't enough unprotected women. They couldn't scoop any up.
And then, so they get all out of the movie theater eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And their group just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Of random freaking people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're at the school, and I'm like, where did all these people come from? Because they all dispersed from the general store. Mm-hmm. And then they got them all back again.
Yeah.
It was confusing. But presumably everybody was woken up by the sirens, right? So
Right, yeah.
Who knows who's around at this time?
But it was only teenagers that helped. Nobody else helped.
Well, they're like, dang, something's happening. I gotta get up and go.
Also, I decided that there were only 4 teenage women that went to high school with them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
It
With
seemed
the
that
30
way.
boys? all 25 years old or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when the principal punched through the window,
Yes.
I was expecting the sergeant to do it again. Because he had to do it to get into the...
Oh, yeah. The doctor's office.
He had to ruin Dr. Howland's very beautiful Victorian home.
Yeah, it was nice.
I need that house.
It looked like a spooky house.
Second Empire all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into architecture right now.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Also, could you tell that the movie took place in America? Because when science didn't work, they tried to shoot it, and at one point the Air Force said, "Can we bomb it?" And I just was sitting here, I'm like, oh my god.
You're like, that sounds about right.
This is America, where we just bomb stuff. Yes. When it doesn't work, bomb.
Bomb.
I did like that. I did like that at least he explained away, like, oh, we can't bomb it because then it would get everywhere. Like, somebody has a brain. Thank you.
Lieutenant Dave. Could you imagine if they had bombed it?
Oh my gosh. Well, that would be the sequel, The Blob 2, if they bombed it.
There is a sequel.
What?
Yeah, there's a sequel called Beware the Blob.
Ooh.
And there's a remake.
I was wondering about all that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I did think they kind of left it off because they were like, as long as the Arctic's cold, like
as long as the Arctic stays cold,
like the Blob will be fine, right? And then at the end it goes to the end with like a question mark.
I
was
love
like,
the question
wait a
mark.
minute, were they talking about global warming way back then? Like, I didn't think so, but they kind of give that vibe off. I was like, damn, look at these people ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Right?
So I wouldn't be shocked if there was a sequel.
No?
That was all that to say.
I don't know if it did well or anything. I didn't look much into it. I just know there is one.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if Yearworth came back for it. The director. Steve McQueen did not.
The real question is,
Yeah.
did it have a theme song that slapped?
Beware. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh my.
Now, Tim.
Yeah.
Would you say Steve McQueen was pretty athletic in this one, being able to jump over that aisle like a monster?
Yeah.
Now, can you do that? And if so, can you go to your nearest Kroger and record it for me?
I don't know.
If you want to see Tim jump over an aisle,
no.
he will set one up in his back porch yard.
My back porch yard.
Yeah, let's have you do a miniature set. Like the rest of the movie.
Just bring it. Go to your parents' house. Find some action figures from when you were a kid, and just be like, "This is me."
Yep. Here I go.
And then just start moving some Jello towards you.
I like it. All right, I gotta remake the Blob.
There we go. But it has to be like cherry Jello.
Yes, definitely. Well, it has to start clear. And
it starts. Yeah. Just start with
make 2 tubs of Jello. One
make 2
clear,
tubs of Jello.
One red.
What's the clear Jello called? Knox. You just get some Knox going.
Yeah.
I like this.
I love this idea. So, new idea. If the podcast fails, we'll just go into miniature designs.
And just remake movies.
We'll just remake
5 seconds.
big scenes from movies.
Yeah. No, but I did think that was ridiculous that he like scaled the aisle and it didn't even like teeter or anything.
Yeah,
they didn't even cut or
Nothing
anything.
fell
like,
off
he just
except for
got over
yeah.
it.
Like
I was just like, man, I don't even think when I was in high school and I was actually still in shape, I could get over that easily.
I mean, I think it was just the unbelievability of, yeah, like Tim was saying, like nothing fell, it didn't even look treacherous at all. Like that was more
50s,
of it that was like crazy.
In the 50s, they built things sturdy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
it's all like lead.
That's what it is.
Definitely.
Totally. Also, of course, it was his dad's store, right?
Yes.
And of course, they go to a butcher. Like they go into like the
meat freezer,
the meat locker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, I've never been in a meat locker, but I really don't think that much of like the beef would teeter when he walked by it. Like he touched it and just like whoosh,
it was like whoo.
Which only makes me but they still are heavy. Gravity's still pulling down. So here's my theory is that Steve Andrews is actually Superman. He can get over those aisles really quickly. He just shoves like 100 pounds of beef. No problem.
That's why he's so concerned when like a comet lands, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's because he might.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, well, it might be kryptonite. I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't know. I've never seen it in a Superman movie, but that's kind of just what I was thinking.
But, anyways, I was thinking it could be another Krypton. What are the people from Superman's planet? Yeah, from Krypton.
Yeah.
So maybe he's obviously like trying to find fellow Kryptons.
Yeah, that's what
Kryptonians.
That's Kryptonians. Kryptonites. Wait.
It's Kryptonians, yeah.
It is Kryptonians?
Yeah.
Once again, I have to question if I'm qualified for this podcast because I haven't seen a single Superman movie.
I don't know if I've seen a movie, but I've seen the cartoons.
Nope.
Now, okay, well, then we'll just get an N64 going, and you can play Superman on that.
How is it?
Considered one of the worst games of all time.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It's basically the Spyro, like, ring rally game.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, but on the N64 controller.
Nice.
Anyways,
I bet Steve Andrews would be good at that game.
Steve Andrews probably made the game.
Since he can pole vault over aisles.
Right? He is a badass. Also, he just cares about every single citizen of...
Yeah.
Insert town name here.
I think it was like Downingdale or something. Because it was like Downing something diner.
Okay.
Downington
Oh, it
Diner.
was. It did say that.
So I don't know if that was their last name or if that was the town. I mean, they didn't even need to set it up for us, right? Like,
yeah.
Whatever town it is.
Makeout point. There's a makeout point because it's from the 50s.
There's a diner.
There's an amazing looking diner. I would have... Tim, would you eat there?
Hell yeah.
We're diner people.
I love diners.
So good.
If there is a diner, I will find it when I'm traveling. Sam and I are just like, no, not that like 5-star, like 4-star Michelin restaurant. No. That little diner, that looks good.
Yeah, the Downington Diner looked legit. I'd eat there.
Yeah.
Faux show. Now, the most unbelievable part to me in this whole thing was when they were sneaking back out, they thought to not turn the car on when they were taking the car back out of the garage.
Yeah, they like pushed it.
They pushed it. I was like, I'm just sitting here like, they were smart enough to wait till a car drove by to open the garage. Mm-hmm. And then they slowly rolled it out. And I was like, I'm proud of you, Steve Andrews, Superman.
It's probably because he was 28 and
he
he's
probably
been
does
through
it
all this
all
before.
the time. Oh yeah, he's 28
That's
but still
true.
in high school. Yeah.
Yes, that is also very true. He's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Just preying on the high... Nope, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Were you thinking there was a before the dawn situation there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, so... But I was pretty proud of him for that.
Yeah. No, that was more ingenuity than they usually give them credit for.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, how loud... Like, his walls have to be paper thin. Because he heard that whole conversation from his parents. Like,
but they heard nothing.
They heard
didn't
nothing.
Hear him like open the window.
They must
or
have
the
some
blinds.
weird nights.
Ew.
You're welcome.
Ew.
You're welcome, everybody.
Ew. Mrs. Porter probably has weird nights too.
Yeah, because of all the people shooting up.
Yeah, but not at the same
not,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craziness. I did know. I actually have a fun fact about this movie.
You have a fun fact?
That I made up, yes.
Oh!
I mean, I didn't make it up, but I noticed it. I have an observation. Maybe that's the correct thing to say. Okay, so in the doctor's office, he has a polio book, which is just, like, kind of weird. But I noticed it in the background. It's a blue book, and it's, like, propped up. Well, guess what? In the police station, when the parents come and pick him up, they pan over to Lieutenant Dave.
Not Lieutenant Dan.
I almost said Lieutenant Dan. You got it in my head. And the polio book's back there. Like, I'm sorry. The police officers do not need that polio book. Like, what would they
Probably
use that
not, yeah.
I'm wondering if that was when, like, the polio vaccine was coming out. Spreading awareness.
I think
I mean,
they
true.
just, like... I think they just forgot it on set. That's what I think.
You think the doctor's
Oh,
office
left
is
the
also
book
like
there.
the precinct office?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think maybe they just kind of, like, put a gate up, or...
Oops.
I don't know. Or maybe they have, like, two...
Maybe they were just trying to
books.
decorate it to make it not look boring.
Yeah. Or maybe they thought, like, oh, people can't really read that.
They're not going to pay attention to it. Yeah.
This is only going to have a few pixels.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It's definitely not going to be anywhere near, like, 4K.
Because I'm trying to think, because I originally thought, oh, it's the same room, and they just rearranged it to make it look like both things. But, like, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different situation. So I think that somebody's just like, lols, I'm going to put this book back here. Nobody will notice.
Right?
Oh, my. That was the one thing that I caught that I was like, nice. I caught something for once.
I know. Normally it's me who has to be like, dude, we got to roll back.
Yeah.
And she's like, ugh, fine. No, she's not like that. I'm painting her improperly.
Shots fired.
I know, right? She's normally like, really?
Yeah. And Adam told me that it wasn't a mess up. He's like, nah.
I don't think it's a mess up. I wouldn't say it's a goof.
The polio book is
Maybe a
supposed
gaff,
to be the police.
but-
Yeah.
I think it was a gaff, not a goof.
What's the difference?
Yeah, Tim, what's the difference? Tim,
I
define
don't know.
gaff.
I don't know.
Oh, me neither.
Well, okay, so if anything kind of looks like a goof, we're now calling it a gaff. We're coining
Goofy
that
gaff.
term. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to coin that.
So it's not a goof, it's a gaff.
Fair.
Fair enough.
If we don't know, that's what it is.
Okay, so Tim, do you have anything else written down? Because I'm going to get into my fast facts.
I have, oh, never mind. Oh, I thought it was funny when they first found the, not first, but when the kids found, quote, kids found the meteor or whatever.
The teenagers, they introduced them as the teenagers.
Yes.
Yeah. They find it, and a few of them act like the piece is still hot.
Oh, hot!
Yeah.
And then the other one is just like holding it, and he's like, he like forgot to pretend it was hot. That was great.
Was that Al? Because Al
I
was
think
like
so.
just talking about the movie,
I
and I'm
think
like,
so.
come on, Al.
He was too concerned about the movie. He's like, I don't care. I'll burn my hand off. It's fine.
Right?
That was a gaff.
That was a gaff?
That's a gaff. That's a gaff. But I think that's all I have.
Tim, that's all he has, Tim. Yes, Tim. Tim, you got anything?
No, we went through all my notes.
All
Isn't
right.
that crazy?
I know.
Oh,
Okay.
I got one.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay, do you guys have a favorite car? Like,
I like the
especially
blue
when
one.
all the cars pulled up there at the end. Was there
The
anyone
red
that
one.
stood out to you? The red one?
The fire truck.
The fire truck?
I like I do like old fire trucks.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. And it's not that weird, but
Not that weird, but...
I
Sam?
liked the blue one.
you like the convertible?
Yeah, that he was driving the whole movie.
Yeah,
But
that was a good
why
one. I
was
did
there
like
another
that.
good one?
Tim's
So-
car was there. The new Ford Focus, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they predicted
Did
the
you
future.
guys,
Yeah.
can you guys guess which one I liked the most? Or did you even notice any of the cars at the end?
I didn't.
No.
I noticed them, but I did not.
So
I don't
there
know
was a
cars
white,
enough.
old, like, Ford hot
Okay.
rod.
I
Like,
s-
that
I
had been
know what you're
converted
talking
from, like,
about.
a truck or something into, like, a hot rod. And I've always wanted to build one of those. And I was like, that's dope. So...
So when we build our miniature sets of these, you're gonna also
Yeah.
buy yourself a miniature one of those and be like, vroom, vroom.
Yes. Oh,
Yep.
I'll get you the
my.
Hot Wheels. Beat that.
Ah. All right. Well,
Yep,
now I'll have
there
to
you
turn it
go.
on after this episode just to see what
Just to see,
his
yeah.
car is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get into these little quick facts and then I'll get into the cast. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
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 Okay! I don't
Okay.
know what that was.
So Steve McQueen, when he passed away in 1980,
Okay.
he still had the poster for the Blob up in his bedroom.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
awesome.
The movie was.
It was probably. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. It was probably haunts him at night because he took the $2,000 and not the 10.
I
Yeah,
really
it's
didn't-
like it probably reminded him to never
I
like
also,
miss opportunities.
Do that
I don't
again.
know.
I also read that he did not like this film.
What?
So
Really?
it confuses me. Yeah, it's
So
a
then
bit
why would he
conflicting.
keep- yeah.
It's a bit of conflicting. He might have not liked it when he first came out. I don't know.
Interesting.
Apparently, the director thought of him as an ass. He was
I
very
mean, he was
demanding or something.
popular. He was
Yeah.
definitely typecast. Like, and later on, he goes to do other movies that are super popular, like Bullet. But
Yes.
yeah, I can see why.
Anyways, I don't know. But he supposedly had it up in his bedroom, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume he
Liked
totally
it.
loved it, or it haunted him at night every
Yeah.
night that he missed that money.
Like a
Yes.
lessons
But go ahead.
learned kind of
yeah.
thing.
So the doctor's death initially was way more violent.
Ooh.
than it was shown like in the theatrical version and the version that we saw, and it was cut down a ton.
I could see that because I thought it was kind of odd that he kept like acting like it was the worst thing he's ever seen in his life,
Yeah.
which like in theory it probably was to him, but like when we saw it, it just kind of like flashed over, like it was like
He was in the window.
Yeah, the other ones were worse in my opinion, but he looked like the character was very distraught by it. So
The 28-year-old, 16-year-old was like, "Oh my god, that's the worst thing I've ever seen."
yeah. Oh man, so is there a version of the long one?
No, not that I
We
know
don't
of.
know.
And then originally the movie wasn't going to be called The Blob.
No, what was it going to be called?
The Glob.
Or something.
The Glob?
The Glob. So the Glob was taken by an animation studio first.
Damn it.
And then it was the Molten Meteor.
Oh no, that would not have worked.
Well, the Molten Meteor kind of makes sense a little bit.
It makes sense, but it doesn't have the
The
finesse
blob.
of the glob or the blob.
Yeah. And then my final extra note is, because we've kind of been... Oh, I have two. Ha. It was nominated for Best Movie to Watch at the Drive-In.
I could see that.
Really?
I totally could see that.
So this one's also an award winner? No, it's a
Nominated.
nomination. I
Yes.
wonder who took the cake, because
I
this
did
one
not
was
look.
so good. How could you beat it?
And then the original Blob is still on display at Blobfest in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Damn. We
yeah.
gotta go see it.
2021.
Yeah, about that.
I think the 2020 version is going to get canceled, but
Wow. Wait, when is it? July?
in July for
In
next year.
July.
It's only like, it's not that expensive, so we got to go.
Oh my god. I want to see the original Blob.
They actually show it in the Colonial Theater. They play the Blob movie in the Colonial Theater where the movie is shot.
Goodness.
Oh, this is so good.
The diner was renovated. Like the diner is still around.
You can eat it? Can
You
eat
can
there?
eat the whole diner. Sam.
Can you
You
eat
can
there?
just nom the diner.
Can you eat like the Blob?
I think you can eat there.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Even if you can't, I just want to go in the cellar because I'm confused. Do diners have cellars?
Yeah.
That was my one other question.
I always thought they were like Airstreams.
Yeah.
Maybe some diners do.
We'll allow it, Blob. But if it's still around, it better freaking have a cellar when I go in Blobfest, or I'm gonna be mad.
I'm going to the
Yeah.
cellar.
Yeah.
Go
Where's
to the
the
crevice.
cellar?
I just want to see the real Blob.
Yes.
Now, would you watch this movie around Halloween?
Hell yeah.
Would this
Why
make your
not?
list?
Yeah.
Yeah. How could it not?
Sam's
How
got
could
a
it
very
not?
long Halloween movie list, so I have to ask now back in June before,
Yes.
so I can start getting prepared. 'Cause
Uh-huh,
you got to make the list in advance.
You gotta be like, we
That
can't
makes
miss the
sense.
Blob.
Yeah. Okay, so the cast. Did you guys know that Steve McQueen played Steve Andrews?
No, STEVEN McQueen.
Steven McQueen. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Played Steve
Who?
Andrews. Love it when the name is the same. He was in movies like The Great Escape, Papillion. Tim might have foreshadowed the one called Bullet. And The Getaway. He was also in 94 episodes of a TV show called Wanted Dead or Alive.
Interesting.
Like Bon Jovi. Wanted,
Dead or alive.
I know that
I
was
swear we're going to make it through an episode without singing. I swear it. And I am the worst of it all. Of us
couldn't
all.
help it.
I know.
But I just wonder, is the Bon Jovi song about that TV series now?
Oh.
Probably.
Call up John Bon Jovi.
I mean,
you know
that's
his
a
number,
totally
right?
normal phrase, so I don't think it is.
555.
I just wanted to sing it.
Jovi.
Continue.
Jovi.
Jovi. Definitely his phone number.
Oh shit, he probably could just have Bon Jovi as his phone number.
Yeah.
Okay, Bon Jovi, if you don't have that as your phone number, do
Get
it.
Bon Jovi, can you tweet us your phone number? Okay, we just,
DM us.
We
give
won't.
us a DM.
That's
You probably
true.
don't.
Promise.
We'll give you your privacy.
Well, some.
Well, we're just gonna call you and sing the theme song to the Blob,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like, "But why? I don't
Just
get
cover it, please.
Okay.
So Jane
Continue.
Martin. I'm gonna just keep going. Jane
Sorry.
Martin was played by Annetta Corso.
Okay.
She was Helen Crump in the Andy Griffith Show.
Helen Crump. Oh, the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she was in like 66 episodes of that.
Damn, look at her go.
She was in Gunsmoke, another TV show. This was her theatrical premiere, like her first film ever on the big screen.
Wow.
Yeah, and they misspelled her name.
No! That's terrible.
They gave it like a French spelling, and it's not French. Or it might still be, but like, you know how things change over time. So they just start dropping letters.
How hard is it to ask the lady how to spell her name before it goes in theaters?
I don't know.
Oh, my word. I'm sorry, lady.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, bro.
But I think Gunsmoke was pretty big, right?
It was a popular show.
I was like, that sounds familiar.
I don't know. Lieutenant Dave was played by Earl Rowe.
Earl Rowe.
Not in a ton, but he was in Kojak and Ryan's Hope.
Okay.
And The Blob. I'm kidding. I didn't write that down, but I mean, technically is right. Yeah.
Obviously, he's in The Blob, but continue.
Dr. T. Hallen is played by Stephen Chase in When Worlds Collide.
Oh.
And Six Gun Trail. Clearly, the Western flicks of Tim's life were very popular in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
He's seen all of them. Just
Sure.
on Twitter and Instagram, just tweet and what do you call it when somebody comment that word? Just
You're
be like,
so old.
Tim. Yeah, this 29-year-old does not know.
You couldn't play a high schooler.
I could not play a high schooler at today's age. I would look like, 21 Jump Street. I would be so confused at what they're talking about. But the director was Irvin S. Yearworth Jr. He did 40 Man and Dinosaurs. So Dinosaurs is that like old school claymation one that they always show like quick screens of, like where the two, like the T-Rex and something else is fighting.
Oh.
Yeah, that like Godzilla like sort of dinosaurs. That's him.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
The Blob was so good. I'll have to watch his other movies.
Yeah. And then the writers Theodore Simonson and Kay Lineker also wrote the 1988 version as well.
Okay, so it was remade and they
30
brought
years
the
later.
same writers on.
Yep.
That's cool. So it's probably decent. Or like similar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Maybe
probably-
similar. I don't know. The 1980s were a great and abnormal time for movies because they were taking a lot more risks
Okay.
with their CGI.
That's true.
So
So you
there's
think it could have been animated crappily or something?
Yeah, in
Good
theory.
chance.
Like, I don't know. Tim, I think, was talking about, you and Tim were talking about earlier, about how nice, like, the Blob looks really good
Yeah.
Right.
because it's in, like, 1958. Like, they did some good work with it.
Well, and because I think they actually, like, it was a blob.
It was, like, stop motion.
Right. So
Right.
they would just, like, make the mini sets and, like, press it through or, like, whatever. But there was a time that kind of reminded me, I was confused at how they did this. It almost, like, has a head and, like, comes up.
Oh, when
and it, like,
when it eats
tilts.
somebody, yeah.
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 And I was curious how they did that.
When the guy was in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Those dudes,
Yeah.
whatever they're called.
Yeah, I was curious how they did that because it looked like I don't think it was animated. I think they just kind of maybe had something that made it move that way. I don't know, but it looked good.
I'm going to have to go
Yeah.
see it in Blobfest.
Yeah, maybe Blobfest will tell us.
There are probably people that are very knowledgeable about it.
Oh, for sure. How could
Oh,
there not
my.
be? I want to be a blob expert.
Well, yeah, so that... I'm going to just
You
leave
don't
it,
want to be a
Sam.
blob expert with me?
No, I don't.
Oh, my. Okay, fine.
Okay, so Timothy,
Yes.
would you flip this on? I'm going to just go straight into it. No
You know I
more
would.
remarks.
You know I
Yeah,
would.
know
Flip
you
it
would.
on.
Flip it on.
Anyone can watch this movie and enjoy it, I think.
It is. That is true. It is that. That is true. Yes, that makes sense, Adam.
Yes.
Sam?
Yes, 100,000 million times yes. This movie was so good. Like, I just want to watch it all the time.
You just want to listen to the song all the time.
Oh, yes. Well, the second he found the song, I was like, oh, we got to put it on a playlist. And he's like, which one? And I straight up said all of them. Like, I don't even fucking care. It is relevant for any time in my life. I want to hear
Yeah,
this
it's
song.
on our
So good.
Thursday.
So good.
Feel Good Friday.
No, but seriously, this movie is really good. And, like,
It is, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you could dislike it. It's so good. But what do you think, Adam?
I would flip it on yes. I don't like horror films. I love old school horror films because I don't know, because they had to like do it differently back
They
then.
have a different vibe, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe my love of Scooby Doo comes out because it's kind of like that old school feel. 'Cause
True,
they always like take off the villain's mask and it's like, oh, it's just Old Man Jenkins.
Yeah, well, I will say that a lot of old films that are horror do kind of have, like, a mystery vibe to it. They're always trying to figure out, like, what's happening in the town, like, how they can fix it. So, yeah I could see that.
So maybe my love of Scooby-Doo comes in with this. But not so much on new stuff. I don't need to see demon nuns. No.
I think new stuff, they're just trying to make you crap your pants.
Yeah.
You're scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the store today, and Sam almost got Paranormal Activity just to find Tim's name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if, in the credits.
I don't know if it'll be. I don't know if it'll be in credits.
Yeah.
It would be at the end.
It could be.
I feel like it's on the copies of the DVD and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get it, I'll find it, and then I'll just put a line through Tim's name so you can't actually see it. But I'll be like, it's under there. They'll be like,
there somewhere. Yeah.
It's there somewhere, but you guys don't get to see it.
Oh, nice.
Alrighty,
But yeah,
so
don't flip this one on, peeps.
I'm going to state that if you love old school horror movies and you've not seen this, I think it really falls under the classic category.
Yes, for sure.
If you
100%.
hate old school movies, but you love great music, at least watch the intro. Or find The Blob by the Five Blobs.
Yes.
That was in the movie The Blob.
If you like STEVEN McQueen, you should watch this movie.
Oh, that's true. If you like watching 28-year-old men play like 16-year-olds, flip this bad boy on.
If you like diners, flip this movie on.
If you like old classical movie theaters.
Old cars, flip this movie on.
Yeah, Tim, old cars.
Mini sets, flip this
Oh,
movie
yeah.
on. There's not a reason you shouldn't flip this movie
Gelatinous
on.
goose.
Yeah.
If you like raid sirens.
Meteorites.
Yeah, if you like to watch falling stars.
If you're concerned about dogs' well-being.
Maybe don't flip this one on, because we don't know what happened to the dog.
I think that it's fair that he got away, because they say, yeah, we saw him run down the street.
Yeah.
So he's just living off the land now.
Yeah. So continuing on to next week.
Yes.
In our fun adventures of Flipper Flicks, we're going to spin it to see what
Spin.
Sam's going to select.
Spin the wheel.
Let's spin it. Da, 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 da.
Straight to video.
Back at it again with the straight to video.
Ooh, this is going to be tough.
Tough to pass up the Blob.
Yeah, the Blob is so good.
It's
Now-
so good.
Now would you guys say it's better than the Blazing Saddles?
Yes.
Yes.
I would not, but Blazing Saddles was amazing.
Blazing Saddles is different.
It
but-
is. I wouldn't like if I was trying to select a movie between. It's like that would be a mood difference. Like
Yeah, because that's
going-
like slapstick comedy, and this is just like Blob.
Yeah.
Anywho, tune in next week to see what I pick for straight to video, because
Yep.
I have no idea at this point. So many good options.
All right, now
So-
blob us out, Sam.
Da 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 da
Da, 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 da.